Yo, bro.
Dum. What's up?
So this is the intro.
Yeah, that's how we start. Okay, so are you staying safe where you are? Are you safe from Karun?
Are you good today? Is everything right? Actually, I'm quite good. You know, chilling.
Yeah. Nice.
Even though, like,
So,
come on, bring it.
I hear you know a thing or two about movies, Eddie. So
Yes, I
that's
know.
that's the word around. That's the word around. So what have you seen recently? Have you been binge watching?
No, recently it's strange because I don't know for you, but with all the confinement and COVID-19 happening, I kind of lost the habitude to go to the movies like in theater, like because so for those who don't know, we are in France. And
Yes.
we were quarantined for 2 months and a half, something like that. And so of course during the quarantine we couldn't go to the movies. And then with that happening, I had some new point of interest in terms of like cinema and videos and shit. And so when the quarantine were over, I didn't really started going to the theater again, even though I kind of miss it. And now we can go back to it like how we want, even though we have to wear masks and things. I don't know. I don't really go to the movies that much, so I've saw a lot of things in my bedroom. And especially I want to talk to you about that because I think you didn't see the series, but I saw the first two Evangelion movies. I hope that's how we pronounce it in English. The first one. So the first one, is you cannot you cannot advance. The second one,
isn't it? You cannot redo, you cannot advance, and you are not alone. I don't remember the order.
I know I know you are not alone is the third one, but the two first one are you cannot advance and you cannot redo, but I don't know which order. So yeah, and I really that was the first time for me for Evangelion. Never watched the series, only watched some videos about that. I don't know for you, did you watch the series actually?
I watched it. It was on Netflix at some point. It's probably still on. I watched oh my god, I don't think I finished it, but I've watched at least half of it. It's short actually. I think it's just 20 episodes. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think
it's short actually.
Yeah, and I watched most of it, but I grew out of it, unfortunately, even though that's such a big reference for most people. I feel like it's get back in the Eva, Shinji. Oh my god! At some point, I don't know. I just kind of lost interest, even though the style and the opening is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
It's just so good, but I don't know, surprisingly, because I remember watching the movies too. Don't have much memories of it, but I remember absolutely enjoying them. They were stunning too, like great animation, absolutely stellar fight scenes, and
it's really amazing. Like So I knew that the anime was talking about depression and things, even though it's with mecha and kaijus in a way. But I was it talk about like mental stuff, but it's still like big mechas fighting, right? And I don't know for the series, so I don't know for the first episodes. I know that the first film is kind of like just a remake, almost shot by shot. Of the 5 or 6 first episodes, something like that. So I think in a way I saw the beginning of the series by watching the first movie, and what is really stunning is that you're thrown into you're really just thrown into the story without any context in a way. I don't know how it goes for the series, but I was like, okay, like you have few explanation, like there is mechas. there are aliens that we call angels. I will try to not spoil that, not spoil too much because like this, yeah, this is an anime based on some revelations at some points, but you know that there are makers, there are aliens, there are people fighting, and for whatever reason, there's a boy, like I think he's 14 years old, maybe even younger than that, that is thrown into a mecha to fight the aliens. You don't even know why. It's because his father wanted to. And all that in 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and you're like, okay, that's a lot. That's a lot.
But he's like especially good at it, right?
Yeah.
He has like the good kind of.
Yeah, but
I think. Oh man, I don't remember what word they use. Is it compatibility with the mecha?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's what his father is talking about. Like he's like,
yeah,
yeah, you are made for that, my son, and things like that. They don't really seem to have a good relationship. Actually, I didn't finish the movie, so I don't know yet.
I think I remember he's kind of an absentee dad. Like he
there's
really
something
doesn't
with
show up much.
Yeah, there's something with the mom too. I didn't watch everything, so just the two first movies. So I hope I'm not going to mess up with the story, but yeah, and I saw it with my best friend, and he before watching the first movie, he said to me, "Well, you will see that this anime is kind of low jerk in the motherfuckers country." And you understand that quite fast because every character has problems and every character is like really not boring, but they are all a little bit really they all have problems, so they all are really pushing how the protagonist is called Shinji. They're all pushing Shinji so much about doing like just combating aliens and at the same time being successful at school, even though it's not really a big point.
No. Yeah, I mean, saving the world is much more important.
Yeah.
No, I remember. I mean, Evangelion is known for like some things that really don't have a lot to do about mechas and even fighting. Like I think there is like the show, the anime has like a weird fascination for like ceilings and like people watching, looking at ceilings.
Yeah, there are a lot of contemplation phases. Yeah, it's because it talks about depression and things, I think.
Yeah, but what's the I mean, sure, you wanna if Shinji's depressed or whatever, but the link you can do between this and the fact that he's looking at ceilings is actually quite complicated, because I remember when one of the things I have left from this from this anime was the one image that stays with me outside of just Eva's and the faces of the main characters. What remains is I don't know if you remember it, but it's the cities emerging from below.
Yes.
And
I was like, how does it
coming
even work?
to life? It's marvelous. It doesn't make sense in a way almost, but it's absolutely glorious. And I don't know why it kind of stuck with me, the fact that you could see those cities. Suddenly there is a plain field, and those you have those gigantic skyscrapers just emerging from below.
Emerging from the ground. Yeah, but in terms of visual, the anime is really stunning. Like there's those kind of images, and the fight scenes, like they don't treat the mechas and like kaijus like you are used to see them treated. Like honestly, like how the mechas moves, it's almost like Naruto-like fight scenes. In a way that they
nervous.
move. I remember
it's really nervous.
I remember there's a big running scene in the first or second movie where they are like running like sprinters, like they are running for the Olympic, but with mechas. You're like, wow, what the hell is going on? And even like, they have big guns, but it's not big guns. It's really just usual human guns, but with the size of a mecha. So everything is just gigantic, but the physics stays like you could imagine. Yeah, ninja fighting, like in a way, it's that. And even the angels, like the aliens that are called the angels. The first one that you see, I don't know if that's the first one you see in the series, but the first one that you see is quite like the kind of the usual kaiju that you can see, even though it has like a weird mask on. But then the second one and the third one, and they all have some kind of abstract forms where you're like, okay, that's not really just about kaijus, right? But even though they bleed,
really abstract, yeah.
they can explode, things like that, even though they are really abstract. So it's, the series is really like, I was expecting more mecha fights, actually, but there are not that much. But when they come, you're like, okay, that's the mecha fight, and that's really amazing. And there's all those things about biology also, like the mechas can turn into biologic elements, like they can regrow an arm. This is super weird. I don't have the answer for all that. I know that the series like put a lot of questions in your head and don't really answer them right now. But at least, tell me.
I think it also had a big the anime is actually quite old. I think it's not recent at all.
It's something like the 90s.
Yeah,
it comes
maybe
out during the 90s.
And I think it had a big impact on how Westerners nowadays like see and like created their mechas when they started doing it. We all remember like Pacific Rim from Del Toro's Pacific Rim, and how I think I saw Pacific Rim before watching the anime, but after seeing the movies of Evangelion movies, and I mean the treatment of everything is just so goddamn different. Like the mechas and I mean the, how do they call them already, the Gypsy Danger in Pacific Rim.
In Pacific Rim there are
Jaegers? I don't know.
I don't remember.
They're just gigantic, but they're made out of solid steel, almost, with nuclear reactors, and they are moving slowly, and they're so bulky. Like when they start running, you can feel the mechanic behind it. It's not organic.
It's not like it's really not like Evangelion. I think Evangelion is the first movies with mechas that I saw treating mechas that way, like so organically that you can't even tell those are mechas if you can see the background and the city and things.
But they're treated like almost organic beings, like as in they are alive, you know? Because Gypsy Danger, the mecha in Pacific Rim, it's not alive. Like there's no personality to it. It's basically the two pilots in Pacific Rim have to be in sync, but it's not one pilot having to be in sync with the kind of the gigantic mecha he's using. It's with his brother or his well, I guess co-worker, you would say. But and I think the reason why Pacific Rim works like this and not the in Japanese animation is because Japanese animation kind of relies on lower details, because the more the details, the longer it takes for people to draw it, especially in the 90s. So I think this, like having a very mechanic feel is kind of more of a 3D thing that we can do now because rendering just happens.
Exactly, and
but if you have to draw can you imagine having to draw every piece of Gypsy Danger and Pacific Rim? You would just lose so much money, and anime has always had to be kind of making money easily. So even though by no means is Evangelion a cheap anime, of course, far from it.
Especially not the movies.
But if everything is basically gain of time. So the more time you spend drawing like little like screws and everything, you can spend time doing something else, like drawing beautiful buildings coming off the ground.
So you can.
So that's important. I think this is probably this is probably the reason why things were made differently. It's funny to
I
see that when you change from one medium to another, you are facing different like goals and objectives and different problems also, don't you
Yeah,
think?
yeah. I think there was something about production stuff going on about why they treated the makers that way, but
In
I
which in what
think
thing?
like what
In what in what
especially like how they move and the details. Like even though you can see a lot of
No,
details on
but
the makers.
in Evangelion you mean, or in
Yeah, in
Pacific Rim?
Evangelions, in
Okay,
Evangelions,
okay, okay, okay.
like yeah, I think there was some like production insights that they tried to respect, but at the same time, I think there's something about what the movies what yeah because I saw just the movies, so I don't know for the series, but what the anime is trying to reflect on, because I read online that the director and creator of the anime, I don't remember his name. I'm very sorry. I can search that really quickly. Because yeah,
Tell
let's
us.
at least give him the 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 attention he deserves. Created by Hideaki Anno. Okay, so Hideaki Anno. I read online that Hideaki Anno was already working in animation before Evangelion. I
Mm-hmm.
think he directed some things. And then, so he got really depressed at some point, and coming out of his depressions, he started working on Evangelion and started trying to talk about those mental issues he had in the anime. But what is really interesting and it's interesting in a way, and in another way it's kind of a little bit weird for me. And I think that's why, even though I enjoy the movie, the fact that the movies like throw at your face so many informations that you don't have, no, so many questions that you don't have answered to, it's kind of weird. But yeah, he when he was working on Evangelion, he was feeling better, and then the production going on, and the fact that there was like audience growing and growing and growing about the series, and there was so many fans like already doing some theories and things. He started feeling depressed again, and so he kind of changed the first end of the movies, the first end of the anime, because there is like the anime ended away, and then they did another film that was proposing another ending, and then the new films that are coming out right now are with another ending. I didn't see the ending, but yeah, he kind of changed the end. I think he didn't even know any ending for his anime before it had to have an end, you know? And
Mm.
so he just throw in like what he was thinking about at that time, and he was again feeling really depressed and things. So that's why the end of the I know that the end of the first anime is kind of weird for a lot of people. I didn't see it, and I don't know what happened in it.
So
But
yeah, actually, I think the anime ended up on a movie called the sorry,
yeah, there was a
called
movie.
the End of Evangelion. Actually, I think.
Well, in fact, there was a first ending that was really just an episode, and because the fan weren't satisfied about that, and the creator either, I suppose, they did this film, The End of Evangelion, that was, another ending.
Yeah, 1997.
Yeah, and then they now they are doing the quadrilogy of Evangelion, and it's supposed to have another ending again. Yeah, so this thing about not knowing where you are going while you're creating something is really like 1 year. Like if I was the me from a year ago, I would say that it's really like completely. not professional to do that because for me at that time in my life, I was like, you really need to know the ending of what you are writing or creating before you even start creating. But you know, the anime makes sense even though it don't answer all the questions for what I've heard. Um, and for that, I think the fact that I know didn't had the the ending in his mind before even starting the creation of the anime is kind of interesting. I think even though the ending can be weird and stuff, it's kind of interesting. You know, because
Yeah.
so many people know the end of what they are creating before they are even starting to create.
I mean, sure, but some creators were known not to know the ending of their films.
Yeah.
Some even actually changed it. We think sometimes when, especially on longer work. I mean, TV shows, sometimes the ending changes because people get so used to, and they just
Yeah.
some characters grow so much into the audience that sometimes this guy was supposed to die or this woman was supposed to die in the TV show, but suddenly they don't because the cult following is just too strong. I mean, it's actually quite important to know how everything happens. Also, you're talking about bad endings, and like sometimes I feel like the ending is a bit rushed. I mean, I know it's kind of going on a tangent, but we have so many people that were disappointed with the ending of Game of Thrones, for example, which I
so
don't
many.
hold for truth. I don't know if it's true. I think Benioff and D.B. Weiss, I think it's David Benioff and Richard D.B. Weiss, the creators, kind of renamed D&D by the fans after the failure of of season 8, I think the last one. I think they were set to do some Star Wars stuff, right?
Okay.
And they rushed the end of Game of Thrones in order to work on Star Wars, I think.
Okay.
And apparently they don't get to do Star Wars now. So
Well, if it's it's really not cool.
That's tonight's biggest loser, you know, D&D.
Well, if it's that, it's really not cool. Well, I wasn't really disappointed by the end of Game of Thrones. I was just, I wasn't really into Game of Thrones that much, so I didn't really care about how it was about to end. I was like, at least be logical, you know, at least be coherent. It's not incoherent. It's just that a lot of people are talking about how Martin, the original author, is writing, and how his ending are most of the time really powerful. And a lot of people say that it's not that it's a bad ending. It's more that it's not as good as Martin would have wrote it. You know.
Actually, that's your opinion, but I think the consensus most of the time is just that it was absolutely horrible. A lot of people hated it. There are actually compilations online of Game of Thrones moments on
why
YouTube.
Season 8 was such a failure.
And there is like, and I feel like the consensus is people go back to season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which arguably I think season 4 was the peak for me. Absolutely,
season 4 was the best one, I think.
It was so great, and people like they leave comments on YouTube being like, "Oh God, this was good times," and do you remember when this used to be the thing? How it used to be written? It was so good. And I rewatched Game of Thrones recently, and it's true that the first seasons are just so good. Like the characters are just so interesting, and the tension, the conflict between them is just so vibrant and so good. Then I think season 8. There are a few key points that people really didn't like. I remember stopping to watch after, I don't know if you remember, it's gonna be a straight example here. When the Euron fleet comes out of nowhere and kills a dragon at the end of an episode.
Yeah. I
and
remember
the
that one.
dragon like gets killed almost as a jump scare, you know. Suddenly you see the dragons flying, it seems peaceful, and then suddenly there is like a giant arrow going through the neck of one of them,
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah,
like, whoa.
and everyone is like, but how did they not see the fucking fleet coming
Yeah,
up?
yeah. How did they forget about this? And I also remember thinking, wow, you're gonna kill a dragon like this. It's like, surprise, he's
Yeah.
dead. Like, please, what? I mean,
Yeah.
it's a dragon.
It
It
was kind
shouldn't
of
die
weird.
like this.
It was
I mean,
weird. It was that one was weird, and all the well, let's say we are in a little spoiler zone for a little while. Maybe let's try not to digress too much about Game of Thrones, but the
oh
and
yeah, I spoiled the
all
fuck out
the
of Game of
battle
Thrones.
all the battle against
But I
the White
mean, can you
Walkers.
really spoil Game of Thrones? I mean, everybody has seen the end,
Yeah,
Eddie. I
yeah,
think we're
I know,
just
it's not that bad, but I will put something during the editing. Um, but and all the battle against the White Walkers in the season 8 was so weirdly
yeah,
so weirdly like the tactics and strategy was like so
yeah.
fucked up, even though all the like the directing and lights and things and visual
It was
effects
well
are
made.
really stunning. All that
It
is
was really well
good, but
made.
it's written so badly. Like even me
Yeah.
that I'm not really interested into battles and historian things, I was like this doesn't make any sense for a battle. Even though you are in Game of Thrones and you have fucking dragons and White Walkers and things, this doesn't make any sense. Like
Yeah.
really.
No, I mean, I think I'm much more interested in history than you are,
Yeah,
especially
I
medieval
think
history. And the fact of the matter is, yeah, if I mean anyone knows that it's a bad idea when you have such a giant army to just put it outside of the castle walls that are supposed to protect you. I mean,
yeah.
it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Also, I think the biggest hit for me is when they, it's beautiful visually, I guess, when they throw the Dothrakis inside the melee,
Yeah, but
and
it's so but it's so
you
weird.
slowly see them disappear because they have
Yeah, it's
flaming
cool. No,
sword.
visually it's amazing.
It's amazing, yeah. But you're like, are we sure this is the best way to do this? I mean,
Yeah.
you're kind
Because
of
you know
throwing a kamikaze attack. They're obviously not
yeah.
gonna stop them
Yeah, because
because the
I understand the fact that the Dothrakis are more used to like fight on horses and like for quick fights, but you can wait. I don't know. You can make them wait a little bit far from the castles so that they
yeah.
can come backwards.
Okay,
Something like
so
that.
I'm gonna, yeah. I mean, if I put the tangent level to 200%, cavalry is usually used to, like scramble an enemy force. But I mean, they're
Yeah,
White Walkers. They're already basically scrambled. They're not
yeah.
holding lines and shit. So basically, Dothrakis are useless no matter how. So I don't know why they're. End of tangent.
And
We
there's this.
we're backseating real hard, but
Yeah, and there
I
was
mean,
the ending of the battle with Arya like killing the white
oh yeah.
the Night King. It was like coming out of nowhere. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, the
And
music though, the music.
the music
Wow.
is amazing, and I really
Absolutely
was.
insane. Absolutely
Yeah,
insane.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's that like in terms of directing and things, it's really one of the best scene we've saw. But it's so not. It's so badly written that everything goes away if you start thinking about the writing.
Yeah, and
There's
I
just
mean, that's just the beginning because at the end you have the Dany turnover. I mean, when she becomes crazy, which a lot of people actually thought
yes,
that was, which a lot of
yes.
people thought
A
that
lot
was
of
undeserved from the character.
yeah, but
I
no,
do
actually,
think I do think it's okay because after rewatching everything, you can actually see her slowly losing everything she has built, and I guess her
yeah.
turning is. I mean, I guess it's okay. I guess it's okay. I'm not
For me, it
I'm not
was
opposed to that. You know.
yeah. For me, it was quite logical in a way because
Me too.
I
Yeah.
always saw Dani as someone a bit mad, even though she's not really good. She's just fighting for the people we want to see winning.
Yeah,
well,
every time
she
a
kind of,
Targaryen is born, the gods flip a coin. Isn't it what
yeah,
they say?
yeah, she's
And she
well,
seemed very sane, actually, but then, I mean, sane. I mean,
yeah,
well. But she seemed okay, but she slowly loses power. You know, she loses, when she starts going to Westeros, she loses, like, the cities she has, I think,
mm,
conquered before, you know, the
yeah, she
slaves.
loses
I
everything.
think yeah, you hear that. I mean, it's so far away from her, but she hears it, I think.
Mm,
So all that heritage, all that legacy destroyed, and then she comes here and she realizes that, spoiler, but everybody knows anyway, John is a more like rightful king than
mm.
her, and then it's over, man. I mean, she's like, wait,
Bro, that
no,
sucks.
yeah,
Yeah, she's like,
she
bro.
her nephew, just like absolutely terrible. But yeah, no, I mean, it's just incoherence, or nitpicky, you might say. But when they finally defeat the White Walkers at Winterfell, um, can you explain to me why do they arrive to King's Landing with more than 20
Yeah.
guys in their army?
Yeah,
Where the
because at the
fuck
end
do
there
they
were
come
only 5
from?
people remaining, and you're like, you still have an army after that shit?
Yeah,
Bro.
who did you enlist? Who did you enlist in that army? Are those like teenagers and old guys?
like, like
Retirement
during
people?
the.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, like during
Come on,
the Lord
man.
of the Rings
It's
too.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh, actually, yeah, but I mean, if it happens in the Lord of the Rings, I think we forgive it now. It's okay. It's okay.
No,
All
in
is
the Lord of the
forgiven.
Rings, yeah, in the Lord of the Rings, at the end of the second of the battle during the Two Towers, there are really no one remaining, and after that, they have to rebuild an army with the Rohan and things. So they can't. There's
Yeah.
really no one remaining at the end of the Two
You
Towers.
said you said Two Towers, but didn't you mean Minas Tirith, Return of the King? I was thinking
No,
more
no, no, no.
about
The Two
this. You know,
Towers.
where
The
at
Two
the end when
Towers.
they walk with the blob of people
No, the
into
Two Towers. The
inside
Two
the
Towers.
giant Sauron.
If you watch the Two Towers again, the battle of the Helms. It's
Helm's
what
Deep,
it's
yeah.
Helms.
Hmm.
What?
Helm's Deep, yeah.
Hey, Helm's
Helm's
Deep. Yeah,
Deep, yeah.
I was about to say Helm's Pit, but it's Helm's Deep. Yeah. This big battle ends up like there's only Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas remaining, and the king. And all
Yeah,
the elves are gone, all the humans are gone, there are only remaining them and the children and the woman in the cave. And then you have
yeah,
Gandalf coming out of nowhere
yeah.
and
Gandalfus
yeah,
ex
and
machina.
killing. Yeah, big Deus Ex Machina. It's amazing actually. It's really well written because you at that point you just forget about what Gandalf said, and when he arrived, you're like, oh yes, I remember now. And
Yeah,
so
with
it
the
kind of makes
lights.
sense. But at the end, there are really no one remaining in Helm's Deep. Yeah, really, that's the same thing.
It's
But yeah,
always like this. I mean, you gotta
we
get your thing going. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Well, we have 26 minutes remaining because yeah, we are trying to do only 1 hour of recording. So I will ask you the same question. What did you watch recently?
recently, wow, you're taking me off guard. I started watching. Listen, I was. I'm thinking. I think I'm gonna go watch Tenet soon,
Yeah,
because, like anyone really, I think cinema has been taking a big hit during the COVID crisis, because people didn't go see movies anymore that much during especially even
yeah,
after the lockdown was over. It's still on a downward slope. It's getting better, but, like,
yeah,
Tenet, and every movie was pushed and pushed. And I was thinking, yeah, well, I've been to the movies recently, but I was going into um, uh, artsy theaters. I watched Vivarium recently, in July. I don't know if
Oh,
you've seen
Vivarium! I
that
really want
movie.
to watch this one. It was with Jesse Eisenberg, right?
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, I really want to watch
Imogen
that.
Imogen Poots. Yeah, it's fucked up, man. But
Yeah.
honestly, it was good. And I saw an Algerian movie too called Abu Layla, which was pretty good too, but really too fucked up for me. Also very long. But I mean, Algeria is just a magnificent country, so the scenery was great. Anyway, I was planning on watching Tenet, yeah, because just to give a boost to cinema again. Even though I've heard not the best things about it so far, but I don't want to give you an educated. I mean, I want to give you a good opinion about it, not just what I've heard.
No. Yeah, I haven't heard a lot
That's what I've heard about.
it too. So it's not really. We can't really talk about it right now. I will see if I go watch it. Actually, I'm kind of getting bored from Christopher Nolan's movies. Actually.
Oh, okay.
I never talked about that, but yeah, Christopher. I never talked about that, but I'm alcoholic. No, no, I really, I'm getting bored because I never was really into his movies. It's just not my thing. It's too academic. Like there are good things. He's a really good writer, and him and his brother are really amazing writer. But I don't know. I think I enjoyed Inception because there was some good things in it.
I absolutely. Yeah, I mean, this movie is great.
It's amazing.
I just love the I mean, the uniqueness of it, but even visually, that was so much more interesting than what a lot of things I've seen. And then I think there was Dunkirk, which was not as interesting, and he made all the movies in between, of course.
Yeah, and I didn't. Of course I like
the Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight. I like Batman Begins, even though it's kind of it's a bit forgettable.
Begins
because of the Dark Knight.
Forgettable one.
Yeah, and also because of the Dark Knight, because the Dark Knight is really amazing.
It is. And Rises was also actually quite forgettable.
In a way.
Surprisingly.
I still need to see Memento, because I think in Memento... Well, actually, my problem with Nolan is the visual aspects of his movies, because I like when a movie is well written, but I really need to see some creativity in the visuals, and I really don't see it in Nolan's movies. I know he's trying to, doing SFX on the set, things like that, shooting in films like 16 millimeters, things like that. Those are really
70 millimeters, not 60.
17.
You
said
60. 70 millimeters.
70. Yeah, sorry.
IMAX, I guess.
Those things I like that, but how he's directing, I find it really boring and just so academic. I don't see anything really interesting in it, and even the subject of his movies. I mean, the Prestige is kind of cool, even though I didn't really enjoy it because I was just bored, man. Like I was just watching some.
I like the Prestige. The Prestige is good. I think. I think the boredom was stronger on some other of his films. I think Memento didn't really hit me.
Well, I still need to see Memento, because I think it's some kind of movie that will interest me because of like all the backwards effects that he's doing in it. But yeah.
No, that's definitely. No, that's a good watch, honestly, because it's interesting. It's definitely interesting, but it's not my favorite. I mean, it's just so overshined. I mean, it's overshadowed by Inception for me, which is a movie I can frankly watch over and over.
Yeah.
It's really good. The music is insane. I mean, it's hard to top
even
that.
though
And of course, we forgot about Interstellar, which is also
Interstellar
one of
is great. It's great.
I liked it, yeah. I liked it. I think my enjoyment is 50% the music. I'm not gonna lie
I
here,
think so,
it's
yeah, yeah.
absolutely
Because
stellar.
I like the
I
I
mean,
like the movies, but the music is just so amazing. I think I was just enjoying the music in a way. There was
yeah, I mean
I
the
only
organ, just the organ. You put organ anywhere, and I
yeah.
mean, it's just so powerful. It's the
Mm.
instrument of like gods, if you will, and so putting it in like
Yeah.
this search for life and search for survival is it's such a good element. Also, the music in itself is also really well made. So of
Yeah.
course that's
Yeah,
because
yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's just like, yeah, I think at least, even though I don't really, I can't really like a lot the Christopher Nolan's movies. I at least he's doing, at least trying to do some blockbusters that are still like trying to make you think about things, not
yeah.
just putting big VFX VFX fights or things like that in front of your eyes. Even though I kind of enjoy that too, you know, he's
Mm.
always trying to make you think, even though sometimes the purpose of his movies are quite shady. And sometimes I feel
What do you
like it's
mean?
more like sometimes I feel like it's more like a writing performance, like
Uh
oh
huh.
my
Like
god,
Memento.
suddenly or something like,
When you
yeah,
see
maybe
Memento,
Memento is like
you'll
that,
see.
maybe Memento is like that. I kind of feel the same for Inception, even though it's really well written and all the things about grief
Mm.
and
But it just works great with the visuals too. So that's to me is compensation enough. But
mm,
I think Memento, it's kind of the problem I had with this film is that its only purpose is I mean the I wouldn't say the exercise
yeah, the
of this
performance,
particular
yeah,
the the exercise of this particular concept, you know.
mm.
And concepts are super important in movies. If you have a good concept for your script, you can absolutely multiply the power it has. But there, I think it's just that, you know.
Mm.
It's it lacks something more, but it's yeah. Nolan's kind of a hit or miss for me, but I don't know. I don't think I'll ever forget my Interstellar seeing experience, even though a lot of people that I like the opinion of, that I like to challenge myself with their opinion, say that they don't really. I mean, I know, yeah, those people exist. Some people don't like Interstellar that much. I know, they exist. Trust me. But I see a lot of people saying, yeah, I mean, sure, that's a black hole, that's a wormhole that was calculated based on real actual data, and it looks so good, so realistic. But then I saw some people saying, yeah, but have you seen the planets they go on? They're so generic almost, you know. It's just the icy planet and the one with water. Like, it's not. I mean, if you see science fiction, why don't you put some colors in there or something a bit flashy? Like, make me dream about it, you know? It
Well,
has to be
it's not.
grandiose.
I
And I don't mind it because I think it fits the Nolan thing, you know?
Yeah, me too. I mean, I enjoyed Interstellar, even though I don't really watch it a lot, and I was like, okay, it's cool, and then afterward I kind of forget about it. Not the music and not the water scene that was really amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
Come on, Tars.
and yeah, but
And so many memes, I mean.
yeah, yeah, but also I don't think there's something. Yeah, if he wants to yeah, if he wants to do science fiction this way, he can do the science fiction this way. That wasn't really what. Yeah, I didn't mind about that. It was more about how the story was going. I was just like, okay, it's still like third acts.
Mm.
With
Too many characters too, but that's just
yeah.
me. I don't like when there are too many characters in a
Mm,
movie, not TV show, of course, different. But I yeah, sometimes I feel like well, even though it's more McConaughey and Anne Hathaway
mm.
at the forefront, sometimes I like when there are not as many characters in this. But
And actually, I really think Anne Hathaway is kind of um, underestimated in Hollywood. Like she's really good.
underrated, you mean?
She's really good, and haven't seen her in a lot of movies that are impactful. Like Interstellar is great, but she don't have a big role in it. Like you way more see McConaughey than her.
Yeah.
I saw The Devil Wears Prada. I think
Yeah.
last year or something.
Oh yeah, that's a
Something.
childhood movie for me.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
I didn't know
Oh
about
yeah.
that.
Did you like it? It's kind of cheesy.
I liked it. I liked it. It's really interesting though, and it's interesting because I saw, so I saw The Devil Wears Prada and what's the name of the actress that is not Anna Hathaway but
Meryl Streep. Yeah.
Meryl Streep. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm really bad at names. But yeah, and I saw The Devil Wears Prada something like 2 years ago, and like last month I saw. I don't remember the name. It's a cooking movie with Meryl Streep. I will find it. I will find it.
Oh,
real
is it
quick.
is it the movie about Julia Child?
Yeah, exactly. That is
Oh,
this
yeah.
one. It's this one. And what was interesting? It is. Sorry. So it is The Devil Wears Prada. I think she did after The Devil Wears Prada. It's Julie and Julia. It's Julie
Yeah.
and Julia.
And they're like two separate.
Two separate time periods.
Yeah.
Well, you follow the character of Meryl Streep, which is Julie, if I remember well, and and at the same time you follow Julia, that is trying to do the recipes that she
No,
put in
that's the
in
other
her
way
books.
around. I think.
And I kind of discovered the kitchen and the kitchen movies with this movie because I didn't really watch a lot before, and I really enjoyed it. It was
Me
really
neither.
amazing. And what
My
is
OG
interesting?
kitchen
and what-
movie is Ratatouille, personally.
and,
but
and what is interesting, just so you know, it's really just a little thing. But so in it you have Meryl Streep, and the characters, the husband of the character of Meryl Streep is played by the guy that is playing the gay designer in The Devil Wears Prada.
Oh, it's Stanley Tucci.
Yeah, and it was really like, first I was like, is it him? And then when I see that it was actually him, I was like, oh, it's so cool. I don't know why, because I liked the energy they had in The Devil Wears Prada, and seeing them interact but in another way in this movie was so interesting. And you can see that they are both incredible actors because of that, because
They might have been friends actually on whatever movie they did first.
Yeah.
I don't know what came first.
Yeah,
but
I think
they might have gone into each other, I guess, as friends. I don't think you can refuse to be the co-star of Meryl Streep.
No.
I don't think you get to say no. So
no.
Stanley was probably very happy.
Yeah, and it was just so good to see, even for The Devil Wears Prada, because to be really honest, before watching The Devil Wears Prada, I was like, okay, is it about to be my thing, or is it like some kind of a TV movie, a little boosted? But no, all the plots and all the characters and what the movie is talking about is really interesting. And same thing for Julie and Julia. I mean, I didn't really... Because I am so into, animations, animes and big fights and things, when I'm about to watch some movies about cooking, I'm like, will I really enjoy it? And I really enjoyed it, actually. It was really amazing. All the directing is really interesting, like all the cross edits between time periods, and how you can see how both Julie and Julia's inner conflicts are so crossed and different at the same time. This is an amazing movie. If you want to watch something that is a feel-good movie where you will really be hungry after it, you can watch Julie and Julia. It's amazing.
I think cooking movies are such a separate thing. So many inserts and close-up on food and stuff like that. It almost reminds me of the way we film like crime and thrillers, with always zooming in and
in a way,
popping out some clues in your face, It's food. You're following the recipe. I think Well, as I've said before, I think the food movie that I would watch the most is Ratatouille from Pixar.
Yeah, Ratatouille is amazing.
Uh,
I saw it
yeah,
again like something like 1 week ago. It's
yeah.
really
Also,
amazing.
it's kind of I don't know, it's kind of a boast of French culture. So
Yes. Every time. Every time,
according,
bro.
I mean, mostly Paris. Let's be
Mostly
honest,
Paris. And
mostly
it's the same
Paris.
thing in
It's
Julie and
very
Julia.
idolized, but
It's the same
it's
thing.
good. It's good. It's really good, and I mean, there's like small attention to details, when they crack the bread and they
Yeah, and
listen
in
to
and,
it.
and in Julie and Julia, you have some kind of a training montage, like in Rocky, at some point, where like the first time, where it's the when it's the first time, Julie is learning how to cook. You have really an edit that really resembles the training montage of Rocky, and it's really, I don't know. It's really fun to see that, like someone training, and you have all
Well,
this thing about the fact that she's a woman, and in France at that period, it wasn't the cooking was really something for men,
mhm.
and she's learning with only
Men and
men.
housewives. That's
Yeah,
kind of a weird.
yeah, that was weird. That was really weird. And so she comes in I don't know, it's not a club because she has to pay for it, and it's for, yeah,
Yeah, it's courses.
she just take
Right?
cooking courses, with
Yeah.
only men, and a big French chef,
Yeah.
that is actually obviously American because he's trying to fake a French accent. But
Oh, yikes.
these actors, this one was like, okay, you're definitely not French.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sometimes they just take people from Quebec, but
yeah.
sometimes they
Sometimes,
don't.
sometimes they have to. So yeah, and all this edit was so interesting. Well, all the editing actually of Julie and Julia is really interesting, and all the editing of cooking movies are really interesting too. I mean, I'm currently watching again the Saw series, and the in
Hold on, the
the in the
so?
Saw series, like, you know, completely apart from cooking movies, but
Yeah,
in the
it's not
Saw
the same type
series,
of cooking,
yeah,
but
exactly. And in the Saw series, you have a lot of editing, like where you have big close-ups with flashing images to make you scared, and sometimes you have the same thing in cooking movies, but it just makes you hungry. you know, it's really interesting.
yeah.
I love it's something that I love about movies. It's when you have the kind of the same way of directing a scene, but for two different genre. I really love those things. I really love to see those kind of
Yeah,
things.
that's what I was explaining also with the way we shot thrillers,
Exactly.
and
Yeah, that's the same thing.
crime investigation movies. But if you want to mix the both, you get the Hannibal show and the
Exactly.
movies.
Yeah. I didn't watch it.
I watched it. It's really, I mean, it's shot in a way that is extremely cold and extremely well lit. It's extremely clean.
Mm.
Visually, it's absolutely perfect, almost, catching perfection type of stuff.
Yeah.
And there's, of course, a lot of cooking because Hannibal is free.
Yeah.
He hasn't been caught. So he's actually portrayed by the magnificent Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah. Mads Mikkelsen, that I really
And
liked.
he's absolutely brilliant, and there are like cooking scenes that are extremely. I think at some point he feeds a guy his own leg at
Oh.
dinner,
Oh my god.
and he did it in like a weird contraption, like he cooked it in clay, inside of clay, and he has to break the clay and then he cuts it very slowly. It's almost like extremely, as if it was just regular meat, at a restaurant that was supposed to make us drool for it, but really it's just disgusting.
Yeah, I heard
And the
about
guy
the
is
fact that
like,
the series was
and
big.
he offers him the meat, and the guy, which is basically one-legged at this point, is like, how does one refuse to eat his own flesh? And Hannibal says something like, one doesn't, and he serves him anyway, because he has that big fascination of, he hates people that are rude to him. He hates them and he wants to eat them.
Yeah.
You know, once there was Eat the Rich, now it's Eat the Rude. That's he eats the rude,
Eat the
and
rude.
I mean, it's so freaking weird, and it's also so. It puts you in that weird duality where you're supposed to want something to eat it, but it's also repulsive because
I
it
really
might
need
be
to watch
human
Hannibal.
meat.
I really need to watch Hannibal. I really like the Silence of the Lamb.
Oh yeah.
Because
Oh wow. That's
I saw the Silence of the Lamb, Hannibal from Ridley Scott, and I didn't saw Red Dragon. I think it's called that way. Red Dragon,
yeah.
the one about
Uh,
the past of Hannibal.
yeah.
Uh,
There is also Lecter. Oh my god. I don't know. There were a lot of movies about Hannibal Lecter after the original Silence of the Lamb.
yeah, yeah, but the Silence of the
Um,
Lamb is still the best. There
yeah.
are so many
I mean,
interesting things in that one.
it's such a great such a great movie
And I don't know, is
with
the
Jodie
Hannibal?
Foster, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and I don't know, is the Hannibal series over or there's still some
No, I think
seasons
it's
going on?
over.
It's
No, no,
over?
no, it's definitely over. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah. I think I'm almost sure.
okay.
Yeah, I love. I actually rewatched Hannibal recently. Not Hannibal, sorry. The Silence of the Lamb, and I remember this movie terrorized me as a kid.
Yeah,
Uh,
when I
and
saw
it's
it,
still
I was 15, so I was in my mood of watching horrible movies and things like that. I was like, yeah, this is so hardcore. I am such a grown up.
yeah,
And
and then you cried.
I remember my mom's coming in to see what I was watching, and she was like, "Oh my god, I hate that movie," and she just left like right away.
Well, if even mom wasn't gonna watch it and you
Even
did
though
it,
it's not like the most gory movie you could watch,
no,
it
just
really
the end. It
impacts
makes you
people.
really uneasy.
Yeah, yeah,
The
it just
Bill
impacted
guy,
people
yeah. No, no,
so
it's
much.
what I love the most about this film is the I think it's the characters and because the directing is good, but the actors are just so much better. I love the casting for once. I don't know who made that casting of Jodie Foster and whatever Anthony Hopkins,
And Anthony
but
Hopkins.
he or she isn't getting paid enough. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
he for sure needs to be
If it's
raised.
not $1 million, it wasn't enough because, like, on the one hand, you have the Hannibal Lecter, the absolute mad guy. He's extremely suave, and he has those long pauses. He's threatening just by standing. He just
Yeah.
threatens you. And on the other hand, you have Jodie Foster, like very young at the time, and she's like. She's always put in a way that for being a female, like she's really threatened, even at the FBI. You know,
Yeah.
she's really short. Jodie Foster's not tall, and I think there's that shot where the director, Jonathan Demme, I'm not sure, he puts her inside an elevator with
Yeah, yeah,
guys
yeah. I remember
all
that shot
around
I
her,
was
and
about.
they're super tall,
And
and
I.
she's like almost uneasy, you know.
Mm,
She's inferior just by walking into that room.
mm.
She That's how she feels vulnerable, you
And
know.
she needs to
But then
prove that she.
she's also really strong at the end when
Yeah.
she actually does everything she's supposed to do. So that's really nice.
Yeah, what I really liked is how I think it comes up in something like 1975, like for 1770s movie or even 80s movie. The treatment of the woman condition is so well done. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not in your face. It's just
No,
great directing, great writing.
it's not a militant movie. You can definitely tell, but it's just that the fact that she is on a kind of a standing ground, even with Lecter, is really interesting.
Yeah.
Even when he guesses her almost straight up to the point when she is seeing him for the first time, and she becomes a bit rude and a bit too arrogant, and he punishes her for that.
Mm.
But he's still like, I don't know, he respects her some way, I guess.
Yeah, because there's something
He's
about respect with Animal that I really liked. This thing
Yeah.
about like you know,
Don't be rude.
stick to the etiquette.
Yeah. No, he's. Oh yeah, when he Clarice, how he says that is so good. Memories, Clarice, is what I have instead of a view. When he's in his cell, so good, so quotable,
Yeah.
absolutely insane. Yeah, it's a book actually, by the way. I think if I remember correctly, that's
It's a
adapted
book.
from
It's
a
a book.
book.
Actually, I need to. I think I will need to read the books. We'll talk about books. I think at some point too.
Yeah, I think it's one of those movies where I'll just stick with the movie.
Mm.
One of those books where I'll stick with the movie is what I meant to say.
Mm.
It's just really, it's just so appealing, so good.
Yeah. So we are at the end of the hour. That was quite interesting.
I can see that.
I can see that.
Yeah. The tangents were many, and they were not repressed.
Well, it was really good. We'll try to do that like every couple of weeks, something like that, or every month, because we need to have some things to talk about. Maybe 1 hour is a bit too short. Maybe an hour and a half will be better. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Maybe with less tangent next time, even though that's always maybe with one subject. It's more of a test run, I guess.
Yeah.
If anything.
Yeah, we'll see. But I like just talking about movies and stuff. So yeah, let's wrap it up. Thank you for listening until the end. Actually, if you are here, thank you for listening until the end.
Yeah, you're probably doing your dishes. Hopefully it's over now.
Keep up the good work with those dishes.
Keep them clean. We should rename the podcast that way.
And if you have anything you want us to talk about, you can put it in the comments. If we can talk about it, we'll try to. And yeah, thank you, Leo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure was mine.
Yeah, and let's see each other next time.